Go.
Hallo.
I do believe we are live. So I'll say, indeed, and greetings unto you, beloved and holy friend. Thank you for joining me again. Today's whole stream topic is going to be about fearlessness, or maybe bravery. You know, that bravery isn't necessarily fearlessness as much as it is being fearful and still choosing to continue forward despite the fear. There was like a little bit of a situation where I had to I had to how do I how do I phrase this? I had to reprioritize how I spend my time, and I felt like I can't give as much time as I would like to as many people as I would like. And I was trying to communicate that point to a friend, and it it hurt in so many words. And there was a lot of confusion. And there was like uncertainty about what was actually being said. And then we reconnected. We actually, instead of just avoiding the conversation, went out of our way to today meet one another again. And there was a lot of fear. Like at one point, my chest was pounding. I was like breathing heavily, imagining this conversation that was awaiting me. And like there was this energy, right? Like a thick energy, growing energy as I got closer and closer to this meeting. And then it almost felt like it was a certain polarity, as in being pushed away, magnetism wise. And then that energy was collapsed by just an embrace shared with one another, right? A hug, like a hug connecting in that moment, kind of like dispelled the energy of separation, at least tangibly, right? And the conversation was had about, what the intention was behind sharing in that way, where I was coming from, what it is I'm thinking I'm supposed to be doing. And like being able to spend these moments with you, friends, these moments with Johan. He's
Hallo.
sitting coding in the background, listening in, and probably going to share some wisdom. But yeah, facing up. And the best part, and I feel like maybe that's the takeaway for today's little streams start, of the intention that we're setting for it, is the things that are scary, the things that you fear, are usually a lot more intimidating in your mind than they will be in actuality. Sure, we can try and prepare ourselves for the worst of the inevitabilities by being in a fearful state, but more often than not, we end up suffering in our minds exponentially more than we suffer in actuality. I believe that's a Seneca quote, that there are more things to be alarmed by than there are things to be harmed by. And so people suffer more in mind than they do in actuality.
Yeah, I can see that happening.
Don't let yourself be scared. Don't fear. Don't fear. There is there's a lot of change coming, and you're a part of it. An integral part of it, an essential part of it. There is no the change that's coming without you being a part of that change, in fact. Fear is an invention to what? To learn, invitation to learn. Yes, I like that. And I feel like that's the way that I was trying to see this conversation that was, leading up as well today, where instead of thinking of it as a thing to be avoided, instead it was an opportunity to learn how to deal with that conversation if it ever needs to be had. And it was difficult getting there, but so freeing as soon as I showed up in that moment. Thank you, Shan. An actual thumbnail. Nice. An actual thumbnail? Nice. The thought.
What's happening?
I'm getting confused as well. Have I not been posting thumbnails this whole time? How come we never see Adam? Is he locked up in a basement? Do they have basement essay? I don't know. Adam doesn't want to be in stream for some reason.
Interesting. Well, he's not here,
No,
but
but he's had the opportunity. I've kept inviting him.
nope.
I don't know. Adam is shy, I guess.
Yeah. I think he's just not used to it. But I don't know. We don't really have basements.
Yeah, we don't actually have basements in South Africa. Johanna's right. Like we don't do the multiple floors thing traditionally. I feel like that's something that became westernized. Like the traditional South Africa home was like a one-story
Yeah.
big building.
Yeah, I think these days, like, most buildings are one or two, and very exceptionally, it's three.
Mm.
And nobody builds into the ground, really.
Yeah, and it's kind of a shame. I would like to build into the ground more. I had this whole vision one day where all of the buildings could just be like inverse, built into the earth. And then if we want to spend outside time, we go outside. And then there's no like building pollution in our field of vision
And you just
and all of the
underground.
place. Yeah, and it's like you remove material to build things instead of driving material in to build things.
I'm very curious if it would work. I don't know if it would be more
It's just a
expensive
mechanic thing, dude, because like it is hard to move soil out of the
out of
yeah,
underground.
it's
Yeah.
like not easy doing that. But technology doesn't really care whether or not something is easy or not. It just
No.
cares whether or not something's possible or
Yeah.
not. And is it possible? Yes. Yes, it is. Very much so. Wishing the best morning. Love to you, Dan. Thank you for joining us. Joy Vive. Love to you too. Thank you for asking about Adam. I'll let him know. He's playing laser tag with Zoe right now. How are the workouts coming? So much love. I'm very familiar with those anxieties, Mel. I think they're a part of all of us,
Mm.
right? And I feel like maybe that's the thing. That's why I find so much significance in sharing stuff like this with you friends as well. Is that I do consider myself a strong person when it comes to these issues, and even I struggle. Struggle like proper struggle dealing with them. So it's okay, right? You will grow stronger. You will overcome these fears as well. Busy with work and too lazy to work out this week, but I'm still losing weight because I'm in a calorie deficit. That's where it really starts. Meh, you can't force working out, Joy. If you're not feeling it, your energy is better spent somewhere else. I still wanna do that exercise program, dancing one, Joy V. Like we're gonna make plans. The biggest thing for me is just structure. Like structure makes things awkward to me because it infers that I know something which I don't. But at the same time, if there's no structure, then there's confusion or lack of clarity. So yeah, baby steps. Fear is an invitation to learn. I like them again. Fear is the path to the dark side. Master Yoda. I would love to see a community of honeycomb houses with underground pathways connecting the homes. Yes,
That's
Natalie.
pretty cool.
Yes.
We become
Now,
ants.
now we're talking about yes. I mean, the ants have it figured out, dude. The ants know what they're doing. Clearly, they've been around a long time.
Mm-hmm.
They've been around a long time. And it's cooler underground. Exactly. It's going to be not only cooler, but it will shield us from most of the UV radiation as well, if there is any.
Won't get decimated.
Yeah, if there's like massive, 2 kilometer waves because of some sort of polarity shift in 1,000 years, then most of our buildings are just going to get sloshed over. There's probably still going to be robots clearing the debris field up top, but at least our buildings won't just get washed into like
Yup.
paper mush.
Won't just get obliterated.
Exactly. Dancer size, nice meld. You should check out some of Richard Simmons' Sweatin' to the Oldies. Please send me links. I need as much inspiration as I can get. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, thank you. Good morning, Meldon. First chat above me. Thank you, Shell, for joining us too. It's nice having you here, friend. The underground is cooler again. I agree. Like I feel there's like a part of our humanity that doesn't want to live underground because we want to be able to have that sense of scale. But with screens, you can pretty convincingly trick your brain into having the experience of, oh, look, outside,
Yeah.
even if you're 50 feet underground.
Yeah. And lights and stuff.
Exactly.
That's how we'll make space stations work.
We have to do it that way.
Yeah.
And like technically, Earth is our space station. It is. And then just imagine, right? Like we have whole communities where we sleep and we eat and we have like communal areas where we can exercise or whatever, or we can exercise on top of again. And then we go above ground and there's just nature. right? There's like a little small huts for us to sit, you know, together outside as well, but with the intention of integrating the building areas into nature. Like it should be a unified experience of, yes, we have this building because it shields us from the sun and it creates like a dry area for us. But at the same time, everywhere we look, we can see trees around us, right? Like we can feel that sense of connection. Connection, human connection and connection to the earth are probably going to be the things that we find the most valuable going into our future because we've already solved most of our other value propositions: food, shelter, entertainment in excess. So now it's going to be connection. 11 elevens. Connection with one another. There's 11 friends in chat right now, at least on this side, it tells me so. Natalie loves you. What's up? Shell Bell and Shannon and Fiverr and Dan Man and Flatnet and Sam Fam and Johan Fran and Melt. I can't rhyme that one. But good, lovely day to everyone, Javan. It's so nice to have you here, dear friend. Always, always. I'm happy that the underground, like, I imagine it again, where maybe the little top ground areas, the areas that are exposed to the outside elements, could have like these roofs built out of interlocking panels that look like flowers. So, from the top down view, instead of seeing concrete jungles, where humans can enter their communities, there are these flowers popping up, almost like mushrooms.
That'd be very cool.
Right? How beautiful would that be?
Mm-hmm.
Like it should look like the buildings are growing out of the landscape and that the earth is just the one growing these massive flowers where people can live.
Yeah.
I might be a romantic. Like the biggest thing for me is I can see all of these things happening in our future. I just need to figure out how I can get trillions of dollars. Where trillions of dollars? And I don't have to get trillions of dollars technically. I just have to get more people on board, right? Distributed wealth. Man. And then the problem comes back to the exclusivity thing. Meltfest? Melt. Yeah, I like that one actually. Meltfelt. I do try to, as much as I can. We had an air quality health risk yesterday. It got too hot too fast. So the smog came down. You see, Zana. Like when you're underground, you don't care at all about heat fluctuations.
Yeah.
In fact, you're probably going to want to keep things warmer than anything. But then you have geothermal as well, which you can supplement with. Like there are ways. There are definitely ways. It works because he has all the fields. Yeah, I feel it. I feel it, Natalie. It's perfect. We had an air quality alert too, but it didn't stop me from my 3.5 mile walk yesterday. Gang, gang, Shan. I think the walk was probably better for you than the air quality problem was. Joba, joba, jobana, banana, banana, fofat, fi momat, chobat. My bestie used to live in Kansas City. Her basement was my favorite place to sleep. It was amazing. Pitch black, no sound. I slept like a baby. I also like sleeping in an environment like that. Apparently, it's better for your sleep cycle to sleep in complete darkness as well. Like they've done studies where even something as small as like a cell phone. If your cell phone while it's charging has a screen on and that light is emitting into the room, significantly reduces your quality of sleep. Hey, Duck Dad is here. It's nice having you, Brother Bear. Did you know that, John?
What?
If there's like even a small little light on in your room, it severely affects your quality of sleep.
Really?
Like your brain wants that darkness, dude, when it's sleeping.
That's pretty cool.
That's why I
Didn't
like
know
to
that.
I have like a sleep scarf next to my bed that gets twirled around my headrest. And then if I sleep and there's any inkling of light, I make sure to cover my eyes with the scarf as well. Might be some paranoia, but I do sleep better that way.
Hmm.
Maybe it's
I'll try it
placebo as
out.
well. Try it.
No, why not?
Sneaking away for now. Happy melting. Love you, Natalie. Thank you for being here in this moment and in this world with us. We love you. She lives in Minneapolis. Minneapolis?
Minneapolis,
Minneapolis, thank you.
I think.
Now, her new basement isn't as cozy because there's some windows near the ceiling. You've seen her darkness is lacking. I have a neat sack, or am I a neat sack? So, neat sack, like, I think we said at one point we would call one another meat sacks, right? That we are, at least in this tangible form, sacks of meat embodied by spirituality, right? Beingness, awareness, ultimately, unchanging awareness. And then something happened where I think there was like a misspelling of the word when it came out neat sacks. And we are kind of neat, right? Like if we're gonna be sacks of meat, at least we're neat ones. We have like little fingies. We have like little carbon tubes that extrude slowly out of our heads, little earsies, little eyes.
Ants.
Yeah, and little feet, little toes that support the way we walk.
Did you know a really interesting fact? Did you know that rhinoceros are more light on their feet than we are?
Yeah,
Because they have 4 feet and their feet are so
exactly.
big.
Their weight
Yeah.
distribution makes them lighter on their feet than a human being. Isn't that absurd?
Dude.
They have like agility. But we as human beings are pretty functional as bipedal things, dude.
We are.
Like when I really think about it is when I'm like on a dance floor, dude. Like you can just keep going, dancing, staying upright. Your body almost like a pendulum to the universe. Like you're riding that gravity arcs.
Yeah.
Whew, okay, we have rain in the forecast for tonight. Did I get you your ticket to ride? Did I miss a few? No. I need you all to put your good vibes to making this happen. Dog Dad needs rainwater. I have only 15 gallons left and 400 thirsty plant children. I see rain pouring down on our beloved Duck Dad. Gutters filled with water, channeling water into tanks, tanks staying liquid, not getting completely frozen, so that Duck Dad doesn't have to do too much work heating up the water when he gives it to the plants. Love is true. Sending you love, brother bear. I hope the rain comes for you. Do you water solely with rainwater, Duck Dad? Rain dance. Yeah. Yes, Sam. My well water pH is crazy high. Plants don't like it. I could chemical change the water, but that's cash. Exactly. Too much. Thank you for using rainwater. I feel like that's a win anyway. Heavy breathing. Yes, heavy breathing. I appreciate you. Love is true. I'm so down for a rain dance. Have you ever seen a baby rhino prance? It's so derpy and graceful. I haven't actually got the opportunity to see much of that. Can rhinos dance? I mean, I feel like the only animal that I've really seen, maybe Pippi dances a little bit. Pippi just like really likes jumping from my scarf. But I've seen parrots. I feel like some of you friends might know that parrots seem to have some sort of energy, a capability of actually dancing, where they understand rhythm and they like really get into it. It's kind of impressive. But it might just be body language. So maybe they don't understand rhythm. Maybe they see people bouncing to a rhythm and they just bounce to it as well. Giovanna's here with us. Do you know? Do you know if there's any like proof that parrots understand rhythm? It can echo to us songs that we can kind of distinguish, right? So surely there must be something there. Music. I had this conversation this weekend actually that music might have been the original language. The original language that we were singing and chanting and hitting things before we actually properly started communicating. You like my fit, Joy Vive? Thank you. I really like the way it turned out as well today. Feels like a complete do. Like even the way the scarf, I feel like the scarf is in a way like a molten version of the pants and the shirt together. I feel uber hippie. Like my hippie powers are really starting to kick in right now. Whew. Here goes the sneeze. Body's allergic to the bullshit, I guess. Me talking some nonsense. Oh yeah, we danced together, and then I sang and I played the guitar, and there's certain songs like "He's Better Than Others." What's a bunny binky? Am I missing something? I feel like when my buns binky, they're dancing. Binky? I think you're fit. A binky is when they jump and kind of twist around in the air. They shake their heads around too. It's the cutest thing. Almost like the zoomies equivalent of like bunnies, I'm guessing. Sean, is that like when bunnies and guinea pigs got go popcorn? The scarf really ties together the outfit, does it not? I do feel that as well. Thank you, Joy V. This scarf has been like really present with me. I think this was the first scarf I ever got as a gift from America. TJ gifted this to me. I like very much do have synchronous colors. Joy is Thai joke. Is Thai joke. Is my brain melting right
I
now?
don't know what that means.
I feel also, bro, like I'm so confused. Kind of Duck Dad, a Binky is a little bit more intense than a popcorn. The intensity is what determines what it's called. I wonder, maybe if we as a society, oh, a Big Lebowski reference. Maybe if we as a society spent more time dancing, we would have different names for different expressions of dance as well. Like if someone is like trying to like really stomp the anger out of themselves, we call it one thing. And if someone is like really just trying to be teleported by the music and a flow, we call it one thing. And if someone is not sure about the rhythm but still trying to dance to it, we call it another thing. Maybe we can still do that. Ah, some water. It sounds like a pun on the word Thai. Oh, yes, yes. Like so, I do understand references, right? Like I understood completely the whole that Matt really tied the room together, and you with the scarf telling me that scarf really ties the outfit together, does it not? But for some reason, my brain has a certain gap of taking things too literally, right? Where instead of like seeing it as a reference, I'm just seeing it as you saying it. Like that's what you're saying right now. And I'm like, yeah, yeah, it does. Mm. Maybe that's exactly what happened to the Big Lebowski as well. It's like, yeah, that freaking carpet did tie the room together. Oh, it's true. They're known here in America for our fine scarf building, the best scarves in the world. It sounded like a pun on the word tie. The long nose, noose-like scarf ties the outfit together melt. It also like melts down all the way onto the pants, like very much down into the pants. So I feel like it brings the pant energy up and then around my neck onto the shirt area. Funny Melty doesn't wear more tie dye, more a flower wearing hippie. I like flowers. I really like flowers. I would like to eventually transition to wearing my own, pompous as I am sometimes. Oh, but yes, I I like flowers so much. I feel flowers are this enigma is the best way I can think of it. A mystery, right? Flowers are pretty new evolutionarily. Like flowers haven't been around forever. And Johan, could you move the weed out of the direct sunlight, please? Yep. And now we have the opportunity as human beings to both exist as people and also to have flowers exist. Thank you so much.
My absolute
To have
pleasure.
flowers existing on this earth with us at the same time that we can smell and get these amazing aromas, see the beauty, the textures. If you ever like really spend some time feeling what flower petals feel like, Like the amount of intricacy, detail, and softness the world has is quite surreal. In written word, I'm the king of only taking things literally. Yeah, it's brutal, dude. It's brutal, and people get really irritated because they're like, "Bro, what's wrong with you? Why are you so dense?" I'm like, "I'm sorry." Yesterday's flower was fire. It was very different. I'm happy that you liked it, Joy Vive. I actually spent the time making it with Johan. Like he was the one sitting next to me, influencing the flower as we were making it. And I was also tripping on a little bit of mushrooms at that point. It definitely did change the experience. You want to see what yesterday's flowers looked like? Let me show you, friends. This is yesterday's flower. There's like a little version of me. Look at that. So I don't know if your friends saw it, but there is very much, for me at least, a tiger energy, lionesque, feline energy living in that. And like the amount of detail. Like I wish I could give you friends these like real details on the, the Patreon side as well. But when I eventually upgrade the way I display these things to you friends, like we'll probably have like a whole art gallery. Hopefully there'll be even more definition. I want us to be able to like get up close, like you want get face to a massive block of a flower, explore all of the nuance that there is. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. My sister just had the baby. Woo! More love in the world. Blessings to the little baby. May you live a beautiful life, little one. Thank you for letting us celebrate. Did you care to say the name? So we can like echo even more of that love. Yesterday's flower was different. Really like the dinosaur. Didn't have flowers to sniff. Yeah, exactly. The dinosaurs didn't have flowers to sniff. Zano is an aunt now. When I imagine myself going to the Seven Lions show, I imagine wearing a melt fractal flower tank top. The thing is, they like the print on demand services are a little bit exploitative. I feel right now. Like I feel like it really shouldn't be that expensive, but I should put more effort into the Redbubble account. Probably get like a bunch of flowers stuff made. Thank you, Shan, for encouraging even more. Officially an auntie, so much love is true. I don't know if you can get it delivered that fast, Shan, but there's a flower fractal tank top in one of Mel's stores. There is. There is. Maybe actually, Shan, send me like the name of your favorite or the date or the number that I saved of your favorite flower of mine, and then I can actually like do the whole thing of like making it into a tank top as well. Mm-mm-mm. I was typing congrats Antizano. That's pretty sick. His name is Henry. Henry. Mm. Powerful name. Henry. I'm seeing Dega symbols. Henry. I don't know why, but for some reason, Henry is one of those names that feels like an adult name, right? Like Susan.
It's like Susan.
Yeah. Like, have you ever met a baby called Susan?
No,
Also, never met a baby called Henry.
well, they had to have been a baby.
Stephen.
Stephen. I've met a
Jacob.
baby called Stephen.
All of us were babies at one point. James Melty. Baby Henry. Got a grown man's name. There we go. Joy V was all in the same fractal, dude. She was also like,
Got a grown ass name.
name, yeah, it's like Henry. Like you're a 5-year-old. It's like, hello, my name is Henry. It's good to meet you. How about them stock portfolios and such? How about those responsibilities we all have? Jake's mouth, love is true. I'm happy to share that fractal with you. I've seen it, Joy, but I'm not feeding that particular flower for the show. Let me know which flower resonates with you, Shan. Please, please, please. I'd be more than willing to put the effort in. Like I would be. I am flattered ceaselessly. Giovanna is one of my flowers in the form of a like a little notebook, and being able to see, like an object that I helped create exist in the world right now. It's almost absurd. It's almost a little bit absurd. It's like unbelievable, dream-esque. He emailed. I wanted to ask you if I told you what flower I like, if you would put on a tank top. Thank you, thank you. Yes, I would be happy to. More than happy to do that. It's not that much of an effort. It's just a certain amount of effort every time you do it, right? That's the way I think of it. It's like everything is effort, everything. No matter what you're going to do, it's going to be effort. But you can determine how much effort it is and then how willing you are to commit to that level of effort day after day after day. And the flowers things, like the tank tops and stuff, I would really like to be very pedantic, I think is the right word, about a whole clothing line. But right now, I do not have the luxury of being pedantic. So I appreciate you friends still supporting, being willing to support that space. I will treasure that tank top forever. It will be very rare, in the grand scheme of things. So maybe there's like some level of value to the fact that they won't actually exist, many of them. And there haven't before in time, and they won't again after we're gone. The odds. This weekend has had so many very important lessons on clarity, lessons on fearlessness, lessons on responsibility, lessons on hope, lessons on freedom, lessons on gratitude, lessons on human connection. Big one on that one. Like it's surreal. I feel like this has been the most unstable time since starting to stream with you friends that I've been through. And yet, at the same time, my mind feels more stable than it's been in a long time. A certain level of calm has been reached. I get to be comfortable in myself. It's amazing that on demand you can put your art on so many different items. I love living in the future, right? Right? Like imagine, dude, 10, 50 years ago, you would have to have multiple wheels turning, had to have like extreme finances, had to have the artists, either people you paid or be an artist yourself, have to figure out how to get your art into a design language, have to figure out a company that would be willing to take on your design language and actually go through the trouble of making it in person. Then you would probably have to like order bulk as well because they're not going to make you just one thing. Maybe can make you just one thing, something that's special like a custom order, which is even more expensive. And possibilities. And yet now living in the future, we get to, I get to, all of us get to make art and then realize them into physical manifestations in this world. Power. Lessons on power this weekend. So many lessons on power. Power when it comes to sexuality, power when it comes to, again, responsibility. The dynamic between the two, how responsibility comes above sexuality for me. Like, I consider myself a responsible person before I consider myself a man, if that makes any sense whatsoever. I don't know if it does, but the way that I feel about it right now, it does to me at least. Like, my needs as a man come second to my responsibilities as an active and contributing person to this world. In fact, I feel in that responsibility, there's actually less polarity and sexuality sometimes. Like it causes me to isolate and do work in a little bit more of a directed way. I don't think that's a bad thing. But it is nice to gain some clarity again. Coming back to that loop. Really like the dinosaur. Didn't have flowers to sniff. Again, with the dinosaur comment, we saw some dinosaur uh, little statues in the window when we stopped at the place we went to eat at with Zoe.
Nice.
And I was like, yes, more synchronicity
More,
from the thing we watched yesterday.
more dinosaurs.
Exactly. His name is Henry, feeding that particular show. Fractal flower, everything. Little by little. I had this today, like driving away from the place we picked Zoe up at. There was this massive board, and it was like some sort of insurance company's advertisement. And I had this idealized, pompous, probably as well, like idea of I would rather see my flowers up on that board because it was like visible from hundreds of meters, like so far away. It was like there was like a sprawling little mountain, and then there was a mountain again, and then it was like on that mountain, pointing at my eyeballs. And I was like, I would have loved to rather just see these psychedelic flowers and like calm down, or just to the flowers, right? That's the like I had like a shirt design that goes tend to the flowers,
Tend to the flower.
and then it's like a psychedelic flower in the middle.
Nice.
Yeah, tend to the flowers, friends. Tend to the flowers. Adam just joined us. Maybe he'll come and sit next to me a little bit, Joy Vive. I'll tell him. I'm like, hey, oh, we've been waiting for you this whole trip to make an appearance, to give your presence. He's probably going to want to leave soon, though, because we're going to go and see another friend right now. Are you friends scared of the stream ending soon? I'm not scared of it, but I didn't necessarily want it to. Let's see. Let's see what's going to happen. Tenminste zal niemand bij je opsneak, nee.
Yeah.
Like Johan has these little rocks all around his apartment, and nobody will be able to sneak up on us. You hear the crunchy crunchy as someone comes along. I'm not hearing a second voice.
Mm-mm.
Someone told me. I laughed so hard. That is pretty brutal, Mariah. That is pretty brutal. I feel like people, unfortunately, try to label things. We can see patterns in this world, but I feel when we use our pattern recognition to hurt other people, that isn't really contributing, right? If you can't laugh at yourself, who can you laugh at? I don't know if you need to laugh at yourself. You are loved. Dearly so. Dearly, dearly so. And you are beautiful. And you're a mom at the same time. Hey, hey. Zoe and Adam. Dude, people were just like asking like, what's up? Oh, why aren't you on stream? They're like missing you and stuff. They're like, are we hiding you in the basement or something? They ask.
How do I mute this?
You double press the power button.
Power button. Thank you.
Hello.
You wanna drive through to Margins?
Yes, I want to roll a joint. Martin says around 6. I just need to check because they're still cleaning the equipment from last weekend.
Okay.
So
I need to call someone back.
we're gonna go for just drink and chill.
Are you gonna come with us? Sick.
Yes.
Are you gonna drive from here?
Yeah.
Leroy coming with?
No, he doesn't want to come.
Okay. You wanna join me?
Oh my god.
Please.
What is that?
It's a microphone.
He's streaming.
Oh, you want?
Stream, bro.
Did you think I was asking you? Do you want to join?
I was like, yeah,
I'm
boy.
gonna-
I was asking, do you want to join me?
Like,
So-
people,
Yeah. There's like
oh, crazy.
11 friends joining us in the space right now. Hides face, poses. Am I looking beautiful enough? Yes. Who won laser tag? Who won laser tag?
Zoe crushed me, dude.
Zoe destroyed Adam.
Unfair tactics.
Yeah.
She's played the game many times before. Hi Adam, hi Zoe. Like I would turn the camera on you friends, but I don't want to be rude. So we have like a few more minutes left. Today's whole stream topic, Zoe, is about facing fears. The title is on day 836, Meltmore faced fear fractals.
Okay.
Yeah, and how we trip ourselves out more in our mind than things are actually out in the world. Beautiful Stoic quote of there are more things to be alarmed by than there are things to be harmed by. And so humans suffer more in mind than they do in actuality.
Okay. So have you faced your fears?
I show up. I just I'm like away, I'm scared, but so today like I started off first I said fearlessness and then I was like actually bravery is better than fearlessness because bravery means you're scared
You're conscious of it.
but you're still going forward with it.
You understand what's to be scared of,
Mm,
but you're not letting it control you.
exactly. That control. Ooh, thank you, Zoe. Yeah, it's a control thing.
Hey, special word.
Not to get controlled. You see, more connections being made. Girl power, love is true. Zoe is my puppy dog's name. Zoe sounds rad. Hi, Mariah. Love you. People are like sending you good vibes. How are your doggies? uh, doing the daily practice of crappy childhood fairy. Not every day though. Write resentments and fears for 15 minutes and then release to a higher power. I skipped the meditation part. Don't. The meditation part's good. The meditation part gives you that quiet space to just sit and think about things, and you need that. Like, we don't actually have the luxury of thinking about things anymore. Like, we're ceaselessly in this rush, trying to fill our minds with more information again. Yeah, Adam is wearing merch by Zoe actually. Meditation. Maybe there's like a place where we can have like a little bit of a meditation space open here right now. Having like some low murmurs in the background. Sense of community. Safe space. Knowing that love is true in this moment. Human connection is something that we all crave. And I feel there is a certain level of human connection here. I don't know if it is as full as we deserve to have it, but that is why we keep showing up for it, right? Like the small moments we do actually get where something is said, something is felt, something is explored that reminds us that there is a human connection between us. Something that goes beyond our upbringing, beyond our skin color, beyond our understanding of what's right or wrong in this world. It's a certain level of resonance that, yeah, we're all in this together. We really are. We got that many fears and resentments to write them out for 15 minutes every day. I mean, writing things down like 15 minutes pass quickly, like real quickly, like in an instant, and you'll spend 15 minutes. Curious, will there be a Sangha tomorrow? I hope so. I do believe there will be a Sangha tomorrow. It's just going to be an experience of getting home tomorrow. Like we are probably gonna get home tomorrow kind of early because Adam needs to mission through to Zimbabwe again. So that's basically the plan. I have enough to write for hours, Joy. I always wake up in fear and panic from CPTSD. I'm happy that you're channeling it, at least, Shell. Putting it out there in paper, and as you mentioned beautifully, giving it to a higher power is definitely something good. I'm sorry to hear that, Shell. Glad you're working it out. Have you ever heard of Black Flower Remedies? Do reach out, actually, Shell. Reach out to Shan. She did a consultation with me as well. Like, my thing was food and worrying about what my family think about me and the connection I'm supposed to have with them. And Shannon consulted me. She got the remedies, in my hands. I've been taking them for like around 20 or so days. I stopped a little bit now during this kind of hiatus. I'm gonna go back and take them again. But they have helped me, right? Even if they're only helping from the perspective of I keep bringing myself back to the resonance, to the frequency of I am trying to get better. I am trying to heal. These are the things that I'm struggling with. And then to take it with that in mind, little by little, inducing these frequencies into yourself. Mm-mm-mm. Have you ever heard of the best flowering? Not yet, Shan. Tell me more. I'm taking a shotgun approach to healing and repairing. It works. You'll get like wide swaths. You'll hit things, right, with the shotgun approach. But sometimes lasers work better when it comes to actually hitting the pain points. Laser tagging one another. We're talking about lasers, Zoe. We're talking about the shotgun method when it comes to like mental health, and then about the laser
We're
method.
talking about laser tag.
Yeah.
Zoe wrecked me, bro. She got like 6,000 something points. She was like hiding.
Did she like keep hitting you?
Fuck, dude, like I would just come around the corner and I'm like, fuck.
Where is that?
The Grove.
It's actually
There's
fun.
one at the Grove.
Quite fun.
It's a new one. Apparently, it's better than the one at Monte as well, dude.
Really?
It's very scary.
Mm-mm-mm.
Dude, there's just
Mm-hmm. Most devs have a chat of Shan. She's so good at it. Thank you, Joey V, for echoing that love as well. Shelly, maybe mirror that we're spending just as much time writing down hopes and excitement too. Very much agreed. Good advice, Jovi. Jovan. Because I believe that writing down things that we're actually hopeful for as well, like we're echoing the other side of it, right? Like you're getting good at verbalizing how you feel about things and getting good only at verbalizing the things that we are resentful about, the things that hurt us, might enforce that behavior. But if you can counter it, the way I do it is I do three different steps. Technically four, where I write about whatever is on my mind at that point of time, what's bothering me. Then the second one, I write about what I've been doing that I'm proud of myself for. The third one, what I've been doing that I'm not proud of myself for. And then finally, taking these three little points, what I'm feeling right now, what I'm proud of myself for, what I'm not proud of myself for. And then I write myself a little story about how this is influencing the person I'm becoming. How is this affecting me? How can I use this information to actually become a better person instead of just taking these points as evidence for one thing or another? I actually have made a couple of concoctions to add to sparkling water, Shan. There we go. Thank you. Melty, dry historian, dear friend. It's nice having you here.
Dude, I'm checking out about like creating.
I have a small computer on my chest, a computer on my lap, a computer in there running the stream, a small computer plugged into my computer, another computer in my hand. So many computers.
A computer in my head.
And yeah, and then at the same time, we're like, yo, we're a bunch of hippies.
Don't worry,
Thank you.
hello, beautiful people.
Love is true. Thank you, man. You'll have a bunch of friends sending you love right now as well. Please DM me. They're also present for it, dude. I think Shannon would make an amazing therapist. I think so as well. I feel like this is a vector for her to be one, right? Like, not a therapist in the traditional sense, but someone that can be there to listen and ask questions, right? And that's really what a therapist tries to do, at least in my mind. Flower remedies are vibrational healing. They bring out emotions of balance and are very gentle and completely safe. They are completely safe, fortunately. They do bring with them a lot of consideration, I've noticed, right? Like it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Like if you're going to have to deal with food issues, with relationship issues, with feelings of insignificance or lack of belief in yourself, and then you want to stop feeling that way, it's almost like you have to get past those feelings by going into them. untangling them, and you have to be in the thick of it sometimes. It is going to be work. All of these things are tools for us to accentuate the work we're already doing. Doesn't make it necessarily easy, but it does help. It does help. Is Adam from another part of SA? His accent is different than yours, or is he in the Zimbabwe that has changed? He lives in Zimbabwe. Like he is an actual Zimbabwean. He was born and raised in Zimbabwe his whole life. He's just living, or he came through to South Africa right now. And when I met him, he was living in South Africa because he was studying to become a chemist. We're talking about you, oh. People are like, how's your accent different? And I'm like, well, you're like born and raised in Zimbabwe, basically.
Yep, former Rhodesia.
Yeah. And you're like pure English as well,
Yeah.
where I'm like bilingual. Johan is also bilingual. And then Zoe is also just English. No, Zoe is also bilingual. She speaks Italian.
Italian, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like solo English.
Solo
I'm
English.
a English colonial from the colonies.
From the colonies, from Zimbabwe. Like, think about that, dude. How crazy. The languages we speak. Friend, my past was suppressed in my memory until mid-February. So I sincerely appreciate all your feedback and thoughts and ideas. It's been an intense time. You were loved, Joe. Remember that? Remember that you're not alone through this intense time, that we're going to go through it. We're going to go through it, right? But know that you're strong enough to. And you're not alone. That we have this support network. It might not be as direct as we deserve to have, but I feel this is at least consistent, which is something that very much is lacking sometimes in my life. Your friends have been so consistently beautiful. Yes, like Mal said, if you're dealing with acute emotions, the remedies will take care of it right away. If you're dealing with long term emotions, the remedies kind of bring them up to the surface. And then you can freeze him, and then you can deal with them with the help of the remedy. Thank you, Holmes. You can freeze them out. Speaking Afrikaans, we do that sometimes. Sometimes, like, there's like a certain topic that gets explored, and there's enthusiasm, and then Afrikaans seems to be the language that it's supposed to be communicated in that moment. I always try to get like translate for my homie, keep him in the conversation. But it is something that changes the dynamic. Homie. Woo, woo, woo. That's spicy. You dealing with them with the help of the remedy. Exactly. I so sincerely love you too. So much love. If you just knew how much, you'd absolutely be overwhelmed. Um, I feel all of us are. Like, that's the thing, right? Like, it's, and I saw it this weekend, Joe. So the most beautiful example of that, where I got to see friends I made 3 years ago. About, yeah, 3 years ago, I made this friends, Gideon and Abby. They were married, still are, and I got to meet this like beautiful couple. I was dancing, not taking proper care of myself, not drinking water, basically. And then this dude was like, "Hey, dude, you look like you're thirsty. You want to drink some water?" And he gave me some water, and we had like a nice conversation with one another. And there was a connection made, but it's like the festival space. So you make the connection, and then you go into your own life, and you go and exist out there. And then I met them again at this festival that passed, and there was again that instant connection, that love that we see in one another. And Avi was like very present in that space. And every single time we would run into one another on the dance floor, there would be this giddy excitement to see me, and then just like trying to communicate that giddy excitement by sharing an embrace, hugging one another, and then letting go of the hug, and then being like, that like almost like uplifting. I want to tell you how much I love you, but the most clear way for me to communicate it to you is just to give you this hug, and then almost like a loop of that energy, like, how can I tell you how much I love you? I'll give you a hug. and then you leave the hug, and then you see the person's face again, and you feel all of the things that they make you feel seeing them. You're like the overwhelm. Thank you. Thank you for letting me feel it, even in like in text, technically. Well, it's absolutely real, and the distance is meaningless. Exactly. We are no more than a thought away, right? None of us are any more than a thought away. As soon as you think of your homie, of our Adam, he brings us a joint. I'm looking at myself like I'm looking at myself, but I'm not looking at myself like I'm looking at myself right now. I'm looking at myself like I'm looking at myself 50 years from now. And I don't know how I'm supposed to feel. Like, I would like to feel proud, but mild concern, still mild concern is what I see. There's a lot that I still have to do and change. I have to embrace myself. Growth that needs to happen. Who's gonna take this joint from me? Yuhan, thank you, dear friend. I like how there's like just these hands coming out from space, taking and giving joints to me. It's perfect. Joe, I wanna give you the biggest hug. The Shan hug, exactly. I choose to not be overwhelmed and just let you give me the lovin's. Presence. Allowing. Surrender. Melting. Like, overwhelm can either be a bad thing if you believe that you're supposed to be stable. Right? We had a conversation last night. We ate like 2 grams of mushrooms each. And that space was very open. We had like really meaningful conversations about family and about how we spend our time and about guilt and how we could potentially feel guilty for being present in a moment, being open with one another. And then instead of using our cell phones, for example, to reach out to every single person we love in the world, we're spending that time with these friends in that moment. And how there's a polarity there where we feel like we could somehow be doing something wrong because we're not spending time with everyone else. And it's like you're robbing yourself of this moment's significance if you don't allow, right? It's like you're resisting that which you are here for, and you're also guilting yourself for that which you're there for. And then when you resist and you guilt yourself at the same time, you leave yourself with nothing, and you leave the other people around you with less of your attention as well. I manifested feeling overwhelming love. You did say something, and then the universe was like echoing your love. It's like, yeah, yeah, Jovan, you are loved, deeply so. Thank you, dear friends, for reminding me of how loved I am as well. It ceaselessly is undeniable. Right? Think about that. If someone had to try and convince me that actually there's no love in the world, it would be impossible. Impossible for them to do that. Inconceivably impossible. They wouldn't be able to. You friends have convinced me beyond a shadow of a doubt. Thank you. Thank you for doing that, not only for me, but for others as well. As we continue to, it will become clear that love is true. And if all of us can kind of come to that conclusion together, then it's only a matter of time until we change everything, little by little, and then all at once. The chefs are coming. Goosebump moments. These beautiful people here, both ageless and genderless, and aged and gendered. Goosebumps. No necessity for you to be anything other than yourself. Loving consciousness, right? Body, mind, gender, age. Are you loving consciousness? Oh, I don't know, Mel. What does it mean to be loving consciousness? Are you consciousness? Right? Are you conscious of an experience right now? Yes?
You can't lie.
Yes.
Just say,
Would you be if there was no love? If you weren't loving, if there wasn't love leading up to this moment, if you didn't love yourself, if you weren't loved by family and parents, a system, other people,
no, I thought of mine
right?
when I saw that.
Loving consciousness. Thank you. Thank you for sharing loving consciousness with me today. Your friends, you make the world a better place. So much love. Thank you, Mel. Melton, Johan, and Adam, and Zoe, and all, and love you, wonderful friends, so dearly. We have friends sending you love. We're ending the stream. Can I share you friends' fractals? Can I show you? We have like.
Hello.
There we go. So much love.
That's awesome.
Thank you, dear friends. Thank you for joining me as well. I'll see you again tomorrow. Goodbye, everybody.